Israel Keys, January 7, 1978, December 2, 2012, was an American serial killer, bank robber, burglar, arsonist, kidnapper, and sex offender. He murdered at least 3 people and committed dozens of other crimes across the United States from the late 1990s to February 2012. Keys was arrested in March 2012.
We need something. We need material. We need currency. We need something to advocate with. And that's that's exactly what we've told you for the last.
And killed himself while awaiting trial. Evidence in his jail cell led the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, to suspect that Keys murdered 11 people. Keys targeted random people all across the United States to avoid detection, planning for months before he committed a particular crime. He specifically frequented campgrounds and isolated locations. He claimed to only use guns when he had to and preferred strangulation. This was due to the pleasure he derived from witnessing victims lose consciousness in the struggle. He claimed to not kill children or parents of children, primarily because of his daughter, whom he feared finding out about him and his crimes. However, police and FBI investigators were skeptical of this claim and suspected Keys of killing several teenagers and children.
The last 6 months or more.
Yeah, I understand that.
So,
What about, just the idea of, and I'm just thinking along the lines of what, we tell vermonologists to stand down, even just a clue that doesn't give up anything from your perspective, but at least gives everybody something to work with behind the scenes, nothing that we, have to kind of go and publicize to the world, but a clue about, one of the past murders, that's really not going to reveal anything. So you're not playing any cards, but at least where then going back to these guys' bosses and to Vermont and saying, look, you've given us a clue in exchange for this sort of discretion and for everybody to kind of stand down, so to speak.
Well, first of all, I don't know. You already have.
Sure.
You already have a lot of clues that I don't know about. You have that computer.
So you wouldn't be giving anything away.
I'm just saying I think you have a lot of background on me at this point. I'm sure that I don't even remember at this point. So.
The bosses above us, though, don't know what's on that computer. Jeff and I know what's on that computer. So let's just use Frank's example for a second. So if you were to give us a clue, they don't know, our bosses don't know what, I'm being recorded. Our bosses don't know what is on that computer. So they're not going to know.
Here next time.
So they're not going to know if we already knew that or not.
Vermont doesn't know either. They haven't seen the evidence. So you could be giving us nothing, but at least it's something we report to them.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
reported that he committed a murder in X day. Okay, a big deal. It's not going to give us anything after, given the timeline that you set forward, 14 years, but at least it's some sort of sign of progress. We can go back and say, no, he's actually given us a clue and things are moving forward, and they can sort of feel good about themselves for not doing.
When you say clue, are you talking about giving you names or
No.
what?
Use the name, but give us the name of
A
the
state or something.
state and a time frame. Hey,
You already know some of the states.
sure. But give us something that we
Doesn't matter.
progress from where we were months ago. Is what we're looking for. Frank hadn't talked about this clue idea, but something that we don't. Obviously, you can tell us something we already have discussed in here. That's not progress.
Because everybody knows what's been discussed in here, but, let's assume it's something from your perspective, you're not giving us anything, because you think, hey, we already have it, it's a clue, and it's just something that gives us credibility that we can report, even though, maybe this is just a fiction. Give us, New York, New Jersey, all right, well, you told us New Jersey. Or, something other thing that we can kind of report back that, allows us a little bit of credibility with the people that we have to deal with.
Something.
Did you find any knives in New York or in the boat? Folding knives? been about 6 inches long.
I don't know, I think there might have been in the boat. You
think-
told
I
us
think
there
we
was, you
find
thought
out
there was
quickly,
knives in the
though.
boat, right?
I think there was a knife.
There's
Oh.
2 knives that were not in Kimberly's house, and I don't know where they were. I thought they were in that bucket. I thought that they were, I may have left one in New York, or I thought there might have been one in the boat. Just knives that I had from a long time ago. But I haven't seen them in any of the pictures, so I don't.
You asked Ted or?
Yeah, I can find out about the boat. I don't think there was a knife on the boat. I don't,
Well, there was a folding knife.
Then why is that knife important?
Well, it's a folding knife, so I don't know. You took it apart, you might.
Would there be blood on the knife?
There, well, there might not on it, but maybe inside.
This is the kind that has the handles are actually bolted or screwed to it or something, it's not a solid piece, in other words, you could disassemble it in some manner.
Yeah, it's like riveted to
Would the blood be from a long time ago or just a knife?
No, the blood's not from a long time ago, but I haven't carried it for a while, so I couldn't remember where I left it.
Any other places where it might be?
No, I don't.
Well, if it was in the boat, it was a long time, it was a long time ago.
Well,
2005.
right. Yeah, but, I mean, they're both knives that I got before that.
And would those be associated with the Washington murder?
Yeah.
on those lines, while I'm waiting for Ted to respond.
Ted's the guy that was, that you met with one
Yeah.
time, he's up here, he's the one who did the road search.
From Ted, on those lines. We talked to someone out at the lab, and we were talking about, you know, when the time comes when you decide that you want to give additional information, so that we're prepared on what we need to do to be able to respond quickly. We asked about, you know, what are the chances of, if there is someone that is, somebody that, if there's a body at the bottom of the lake, what are the chances of that body still being intact 7 years later, or that kind of thing? What are we going to be looking for, and what do we need to have in place in order to be able to find that? And one of the things that they said, which might be of interest to you, is depending on how the body was put down there, it's possible that the body is actually very intact. If the body was just tied to something and dropped it to the bottom of the lake, there's definitely still going to be long bones and that kind of stuff. You won't have finger bones and that kind of stuff. There'll be, you know, humors and long bones and that kind of thing. If the body was contained in something, even a bag of some sort, it's very possible that the body could still be intact, depending on the depth of the lake. All of that determines the kind of equipment that we would need in order, you know, in order to locate the body. And so, obviously not asking for details about where and who and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of the Washington bodies, were they contained in something, or were they just tied to the milk jugs? I mean, is it something where we might possibly actually still get it intact?
No.
No, okay. And that's helpful for them to know, because that's a whole different type of search that it would have to be than different types of equipment. Let me just try to call him. Let's step out and try to call him.
Yep.
This is not answering this text.
And do you, I guess, because I'm kind of getting a different vibe now, I just want, do you still envision in the future us working together to the point where we can get this information?
Yeah, I don't see how we're gonna get anything else done. I just,
I mean, I know you're waiting for, you know, whatever you're waiting for to find out, but
yeah, I have